Welcome everybody to Frenemies. We're back again, and this is the Halloween extravaganza.
The finale.
The finale.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth week running. It culminated in us dressing as each other.
Who would have guessed? Everybody on the internet.
Everybody. But I gotta say, I'm really enjoying having these big, juicy knockers.
You look really good. You look like me. We look like each other. And I cried a little this morning when I realized that. I was like, wow, we really have the same body type. The fact that my dress fits you is like making me sad.
Well, it kind of doesn't really. It's more like a shirt. But I guess you were kind of naked when you wore it.
Yeah. I always have my ass out too.
Your mustache is falling off.
It is, well, because someone uses my glam team and I have to get up at 6 a.m. to do this, so it's been on for 4 hours.
That your mustache is falling
off? Because I've had this for 4 a.m. I had to film videos. I ate. I did TikToks.
Yeah, but you would have put it on at that time anyway, because you're like all TikTok obsessed.
No, I do it right before, but you get the glam priority before me by coming on the show, and so then I have to just sit around and the stuff falls off.
Yeah, well, I am the priority. So that makes
I
sense.
know, trust me, I know. Everything is on your time. They said you got up late, so then I went to go get food, and then like everyone's ready, and I was like,
late. You were like super late, by the way.
Because you got up late. Ari's like, he's not even up yet.
What?
You weren't up.
You're always here at 11:30. Dr. Drew, by the way, Dr. Drew's with us today.
Oh, I'm so excited.
He's with us. He was with us since 12, which is when we usually start. And you've kept this poor doctor.
A
doctor's time is so valuable in this world.
You got up late. I know.
I was sitting here ready. Who told you I got up late?
Our makeup artist. She's like,
That's
not
none
up
of her
yet.
business.
Yes, it is, because I was going to come early.
I'm on time.
Oh, my God.
So, Dr.
Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
I'm so excited. And we had
I'm seeing a lot of
sorry, go ahead.
I'm seeing a lot of room for improvement.
I'm so nervous. Is this like real? Is this comedic?
No, this is real. Okay, here's what we're going to do today. First of all, Dr. Drew, the acclaimed doctor, is with us today. Dr. Drew After Dark on your mom's house. He also has a daily streamed show on YouTube and pretty much everywhere. He today is going to be our marriage counselor, our couples therapy counselor, because as you guys know, we've been through a lot of drama. There's been lots of fights. And I thought it would be good to have fresh eyes, professional eyes, to go over our history of friendship together and kind of help mediate our feelings, right?
I'm so down. I love Dr. Drew. People have told me my entire life to go on Dr. Drew because I have like everything wrong with me. I have my BBT. I have my trans issues. I have eating disorders. I have sex addiction. I have everything and everyone's like, you should go to pill problems.
Calm down.
I can be on every show.
Calm down. Okay, so you know what's funny? We were talking before you arrived that we want to do personality tests.
Okay, I don't know.
In a future episode.
Oh.
You can do like a narcissist personality test.
Oh, I'm not that.
Well, we'll find out.
I'm too empathetic for that. I know all of the, I don't know all of it. I go to a lot of therapists and psychiatrists.
So, Dr. Drew, what do you think about this situation so far?
Well, a couple of observations. Interesting how you play with that hair all the time. That's interesting. That is a distinctly feminine trait.
I'll tell you why, before you try to make any psychoanalysis of it. It's in my face, right? So I'm trying to just get it out of my face.
I understand, Dr. Freud, that sometimes a cigar is just a good smoke. But I'm just saying that perhaps there's some little more to it.
All right, do you notice anything about Trisha?
So hold on. And what I love about you guys is that you're playing with gender, which is really very much topic of the day. You know, it's very top of mind topic for a lot of people. Let me just, there's some things I want to say about your interaction, but first of all, I want to know how it feels to adopt another gender. Trisha, how does that feel? What's it like?
Well, obviously last year, one of the reasons they came for me was I had issues thinking. You came for me saying I wasn't transgender.
Oh, well, he needs some context on that
The point of all this is like last year, I've not just last year, my whole life I've had gender identity issues. I've gone to a really good therapist. He's in West Hollywood. He's amazing, who specializes in gender identity and stuff like that. And like, I've always struggled with it. I thought I was trans, but I never wanted to do surgeries to, to transition. But like this, to me, this feels comfortable. Like I love being a guy, like not just a guy, but just not having to be the female body, not going out and being like scared like people are going to follow me and shit. So
it's interesting. So I don't know you well, and I don't know whether there's gender issues. It's kind of interesting that here you are playing around with it. But women like yourself that sort of accessorize their femininity, like exaggerate it a little bit. Sometimes you can look at that as a female crossdresser. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Like that's the gender expression is excessively female. And what you're saying is, no, I'm not sure if that's me. Do you also have other kinds of identity questions? Is it just gender? So generally, identity is kind of not really clear. Okay. So interesting. So we're playing around with that stuff today. Yeah. Ethan, you?
I feel like I'm surprised how great these titties feel.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like, so, I could get down with that.
Some people, there is such a thing as getting really excited by taking on a female exterior.
You're saying like I would have a boner? I don't have a boner.
Okay.
I haven't been erect yet.
He loves dressing as females. He's been doing girl makeup this whole time.
I think you are super upset that I come on here and look better than you every single time.
First of all, I'm not upset. I just know you really are into it. You love the nails. You love doing the makeup.
No, I like when I'm doing the costume, I like to go all out. And I have a theory, Dr. Drew, that part of the reason we've been fighting is because you're upset that every week we come out here, I look way better than you.
God.
And by the way, all the comments say Ethan outdid Trisha again. And part of her identity is like, she even said in a previous episode, I am the girl who does the hair and makeup. This is my whole thing. And when I come out here looking like this, she gets upset. And
well, she did come in the room saying she's upset that the shirt fits you. She's upset your makeup looks good. She was very clear about that.
No, he uses my hair and makeup people because they couldn't find their own. I gave them so many people, and they're like, we don't have anyone. So finally, I was like, here, use mine. I gave them that, and they go after me every single time. So I come on here looking like shit every time.
I go after you.
You always go after me. They come to me at 5:30 in the morning.
She's never mentioned that.
I've always said it. Okay, so that's it. I could
But you do your stuff at that time anyway.
Because we shoot earlier. We always shoot at 9. Anyways, I'm not upset. If I was upset, I wouldn't have given my hair and makeup people. I would have been like, oh, here, just use some shitty people that you already use for Teddy Fresh or whatever. And that's not the case. They used my bomb-ass glam team, which is fine.
Isn't it make our show better when I look good?
Yeah, I'm not mad. That's why I gave you them. That's why I gave you my accessories and my wigs and everything.
That's true. This is her, by the way. This is her dress.
What was that sigh all about? You were sighing.
My sigh? I'm exhausted every day, every week, Dr. Drew. I don't think the show is good for my mental health, to be honest.
What? Come on.
Every week. Oh my God, my mustache is coming out. Every week.
Ridiculous.
We go through fights. It's the craziest, most
Okay, you know what? Let's just here's what I want to do.
But I love him too. Like, I honestly look at him as like somebody I've known forever. Like, I feel like he's my best friend. Like, it's weird. We have this weird like soul connection, but also he like irritates the shit out of me. I don't get it.
Well, there's something about your interaction that you can immediately change, which is the blaming. Oh, okay. Right? You blame each other for everything. And every statement begins with you and a finger point. You.
You're describing a really boring show, Dr. Drew.
I'm going to bug you for the next however long we're together to start with, as opposed to you. I've noticed.
Okay.
I've noticed. Okay?
I've noticed everything's about you. I've
noticed he's an asshole.
It sounds worse. That's more passive aggressive. I don't like it. Okay, here's what I want to do before we get stuck too much on this. Let's go through the chronology of our relationship. Okay, we first were interacted when I made a video. Here, Ian, pull up the thumbnail. First of all, I made a video called "Instagram versus Reality," which is, you know, on Instagram, people put on these makeup and Photoshop and filter, and they look so much different than how they look in real life. And so here was the thumbnail of Trisha. I put her in the thumbnail. And then here, before we talk about it, pull up the timestamp, the next timestamp, and we can watch that together.
Yes! This girl is the spokesman of Instagram reality. Why are you even a model if you're going to modify your looks that much? It's like from beauty queen to WWF wrestler in 2 seconds. You cannot Photoshop your heart and soul. Remember that. This girl tried to use a face filter on Instagram and her phone blew up. Here's another one of her.
Oh my God.
She is the best. Isn't she not the best? Would people even recognize her if they saw her on the street? I mean, she is unrecognizable. This is Coachella versus throwing down in the McDonald's parking lot at 3 a.m. This is Coachella versus world star hip hop. No! That cannot be the same person. Dude, Coachella versus open casket funeral. Oh, damn, Tana's looking
Okay, stop it. Okay.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know her at all. I didn't even know her name. And then I did that.
You're one of those people on the internet, my man.
Wait, me?
No, he is.
Oh.
feeling free to attack people he doesn't know.
Exactly.
Okay, wait. What do you mean, one of those people?
One of those people that I'm swatting off every day that doesn't understand that people that are out there on the internet are actually people.
Exactly. And can I just tell you too, for the record, he took that side by side I posted on Instagram, and I said I'm both. I purposely took myself looking ugly, like not ugly, but just like as myself, like before I go to bed. And the other one was Maui on a photo shoot with Fabio. Like those were exact two different things. And I posted it myself with the caption like, "Hey, I can be both." Like that's the thing. That was my caption, my everything. And he turned it as like, "Wow, they're really tricking us, guys." And I was like, "But I posted that side by side."
And the most extraordinary thing about it is that she was on a photo shoot with Fabio. That's the part that's extraordinary.
He was in a music video.
Can I add
so here's the deal. It's just a terrible place to begin a relationship. Have you ever apologized for that?
So let me just make a
Have you
statement.
apologized for that? Yes.
I think I did.
You did not.
When you came on the show.
You definitely never apologized.
I will say that the fact that now that I know you, you are very upfront about how you look without makeup and the whole process of being quote unquote beautiful and all that. And so there are a lot of people who I think are deserving of the criticism because the whole theory of the video was like, there's these, I'm getting to a point, is that there's these women both genders who do this thing, and it makes young, impressionable people who are on Instagram all day think that that's the beauty norm, which is something that's impossible.
Point taken, right?
Yeah.
The idealization through technology is not good for developing minds.
Right.
We all three agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Good.
so
we have a common ground.
The point that I got wrong when talking about you is that you are very upfront about how you look without all that, and so I was wrong about that.
Trisha, this is Ethan offering an apology.
But it's not an apology. It's him like trying to be like.
It is. Keep going, Ethan.
Well, I was wrong about you. I think some of the people there are deserving of that criticism. But now that I know you, I don't think that you are a person who should. So yeah, I do apologize because I do think that that's not who you are because you're very forthcoming about that issue.
And I accept the apology and I love it. Can I just say one other thing to stand up for the other girls in the video? One being Nikita.
Before you do, I think that apology really moved you.
Like, yeah, no.
Because you said you loved it. You really do love it.
No, I do. Like, Ethan, like, never apologizes. And when he does, it's like, one time you've apologized to me. And I'm like, okay, that means a lot. And
Really?
so it does.
I feel like I apologize readily when I'm wrong.
But I feel like he owes, and can I just say, like, I do appreciate it. I love it. But there's other women in that video that he owes apology to. One being Nikita Dragon, who's very forthcoming about her. She's a transgender. She's very upcoming about, she showed a butt picture of her before when she hadn't gotten the surgeries versus a butt picture of her after. But she's very open about that too.
Can you show that clip? Because I don't remember what I said.
Yeah. And so you need to apologize to that, like, to all them.
Well,
you
let's see. Let's rewatch.
It's a big thing.
I'm afraid I'm going to interfere too much with the conflict between you guys, and the magic of the show is going to go away.
No, we need help.
No, you're doing great.
I could quit today. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that I'm still irritated by stuff that happened last week. I'm still irritated just so much.
She walked off recently, and it was like,
let's get into it.
I have a lot of
we have to save the relationship. So
let's get into it. We'll get into that. That's what's on your mind now. We should start where you are, but first let's watch this video.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see how. Let's see. Oh, that's me making fun of myself.
This girl apparently is.
Okay, pause it. So, like, I mean,
that's her before. That's before she had surgery.
But like, it's so Photoshop.
No, she transitioned into that. I've seen Akita in person. She's
that's
literally
plastic surgery. That's plastic surgery.
Can you go back? I want the whole scope of what I was saying.
That's her BBL.
Off as rude, but I don't like what she's doing. But that's not right. I'm ugly and fat. Okay, you gotta work with what you got here. We're not fooling. So this girl apparently is known on Instagram for having being thick, you know. And my goodness, just looking at this, there's nothing real. It actually breaks my heart, you know? Because I know plenty of guys out there that will look at that girl on the left and be like, boom, you know what I mean? Well, guys, we put our dick in a meat grinder if it, had a chance of feeling good. Little known fact is that Jesus...
So, I feel like it wasn't that offensive.
That was before her surgery, and she's so open about getting surgery. She's a trans spokesperson. She's super open about it. That's not fair to be like, those are two different people. It is two different people.
But I do feel like it's hurtful to young girls to see like an ass like that and be like, why isn't my body look like that? Dr. Drew, fix this.
Yeah, it's an issue, right? And it's something that it's not exclusive to Instagram, right? I mean, it's happening all over the place, and people are doing things to enhance themselves all the time. It's my profession that's offering those services, and then Instagram just essentially previews what's going to happen under the surgeon's knife.
Yeah, but I also to that I say like I'm very open too about having like surgery. I feel like as long as you're open, I think the worst thing is when you're not open and girls just think like people look like that, you know. But I you got it wrong. Like everyone's very open about their stuff.
So
what was your intent, Patricia, in getting all that?
In my surgeries?
Yeah, for yourself. What was that?
Oh gosh. Well, for me, I always talk about this. Like it was just like a self-hatred thing. Like I just wanted to look skinny, so I got liposuction. I needed big boobs to look like girlier, you know, just like all this stuff that I thought I needed. And I'm still unhappy and miserable. And like right now, I'm all depressed. I'm like, oh, I should get more surgery. And it's like it fucks you up. But I feel like I'm very open about it, and I feel like a lot of those girls are too. Like their psychological like torment through going to plastic surgery, like it kind of fucks you up. And I feel like a lot of people are open about it now. But then to have like a straight guy,
keep talking about it. Yeah, keep talking about it. That's all I'm saying. And he sounded a little jealous too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. He's like, I'm fat. I don't Photoshop. It's like, well, like that's self-hatred into itself. Like you're self-deprecating yourself.
Don't you think it's like a vicious cycle where you're like, I want more surgery because I feel this way and that way, and then, but like it's this vicious cycle.
Yes, it is. She said that.
Yeah,
she said that.
I'm still
she said
that
exactly
way.
That. She said that it does not fill the void.
No, and I still feel
it's supposed to solve
ugly.
problems. It doesn't solve the problems.
Exactly.
Maybe it does for a few weeks, but then it just becomes who you are, and then you still hate yourself or whatever.
I apologize to you. I don't apologize to Nikita Dragon or whatever her name is.
Okay, I'll take that. I guess.
Tana, I said she looked like a Twinkie, but she was wearing a yellow swimsuit. You want to pull up the Tana comment, Ian? We could just close the case on that one. Drew, you could tell me if I need to apologize or not on this one. I'll let you decide.
All right.
I'm glad we have someone here that has a reason.
It's good. Yeah, no,
Ethan just always thinks he's right about everything.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Well, with you, I generally am always right.
My
Yeah, you can just put it down.
gosh.
Thank you. I mean, you know what I mean?
And by the way, I'm generally in favor of apologizing for online excess.
Thank you.
I think it's the direction we need to be going.
No, he's saying in favor of apologizing, right? Or what did you say? What did you say?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If you've been excessive online, it's okay to apologize. You know? I mean, that's.
Well,
you don't think you've been
let's not
excessive?
wear it out. Let's not wear the apologies out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Okay.
my God.
All right. You want them to mean something. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Damn, Tana's looking pretty good these days. Oh, I can't believe it's the same day. She looks like a Twinkie.
All right,
This is what Tana was promoted as.
Apology warranted? The yellow outfit was the...
In a weird way, that's making too much of nothing, which is, guess what? Photographs lie. Mm-hmm. And if we don't know that by now, then caveat emptor. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know that woman. I mean, if you feel like you hurt her feelings, you should apologize. You don't want to hurt her, I'd assume. But
I don't think I've hurt her feelings. I think you just...
I don't think she cares.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But there is something to be learned from that, which is that photos lie. Videos lie, too. But if we don't know that photos lie by now...
Now, let me ask you this. If the joke is funny, does it warrant the comment? Like, she looks like a Twinkie. Pretty funny observation.
Pretty good. Maybe that's what softened it for me. Maybe. Good. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And because it was funny, it landed. Good for you. Well done.
And she is like a naturally thin girl. So like, not to say she doesn't have issues, but like calling me, you said I look like I washed up on the ocean. Like that's like, I'm a lot bigger.
Oh,
so
did
it's a lot
I say that
more.
about you?
You did. So it's different. She's obviously thin. So it's like not that big of an insult calling someone who's obviously has weight
It's saying
issues.
that she looks perfect in this photo. Oh my God, she's a human being. Well, guess what? She's a human being.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if I did say you washed up on the ocean, that was the one I felt bad about, I guess, is that I thought maybe it was mean.
Okay. Not looking like a corpse.
No, that was funny because you were laying there like this, like, come on,
I'm with him. Ethan was funny. You
literally looked like you were a corpse.
Okay. You know what? I accept the apology, so thank you for that.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Okay, let's move it on to the next big drama we had.
Is he normally concerned with authenticity? Is that his big concern? I need to be authentically myself. Okay, I didn't think
Comes
so.
out of nowhere.
So go ahead.
So the next big fight we had was when Trisha made a video announcing that she is a transgender female to male. Now before I even talked about this, she got a lot of flack from everybody on the internet. Was dogpiling on Trisha, saying like that she's basically the criticism was that you're using trans issues to basically get attention for yourself and to make money.
Yeah.
So you lost on both sides, right? People who are critical of trans issues and the trans allies both attacked you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my trans friends were supportive of me, as was my therapist. You know, they were pretty supportive. So I would say it was more actually the allies. It's more like cis people being like, fuck this bitch, you know, or a lot of like gay guys too. But
Wait, cis? No, I think trans people were angry.
No, a lot of my
Let's see the video. Do you have a video there?
Yeah, we'll pull it up. Dude, trans people were definitely
I can name 3
pissed.
that were so supportive. Blair White, La Demi.
Well, those are people you know.
Exactly. They know me.
Yeah, but they're just being nice.
I did a video, and I don't know if it's still up, I think it is, where I wanted to be referred to only as T because I didn't feel like I identified as a girl. Now this seems like crazy and weird and shocking because I was
pause it
born
again? Now, previously, just to give context, you've also made videos coming out as a... You made videos coming out as like a cheese puff or some shit? What was it?
Well, when I was like heavy on drugs, I like would say I'm a chicken nugget, which is clearly
Trisha came out as a chicken nugget.
This video, I'm sober. I'm on tour. I'm like coherent. The other ones, my pupils, everything's like I'm obviously fucked up in those videos.
Okay, but regardless, you did make a video coming out as a chicken
But
nugget.
it wasn't a sit down one. It wasn't like using personal thing. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I did online for a long time. It's just
so people didn't take her thing seriously.
And I understand that. That I understood completely. I get why people didn't. It just hurt
give you
that
some
it did.
important context there. But you can't really come out as a chicken nugget.
I didn't come out as a chicken nugget. It was a spoken word poetry when I was fucked up on meth, and I was like, hey, today I woke up feeling like a fucking chicken nugget, y'all. Like, that's what it was, and I was like so fucked up if you watch the video. Completely different than this video where I'm like sitting down like, hey, I have something like I want to say. Like, this is like on my chest. It's been on me for a while. And there's been tons of videos of me talking about penis envy, about me wanting to be a boy, not wanting to be Trish, like all this stuff. And there's been multiple videos that I talked about this and expressed this, and this one just, I guess, triggered people because everyone wanted to hate me last year, including H3, Nick Ocado, PewDiePie. Everyone attacked me, all these people. So it just was the year of hating Trish last year.
So here's the deal with when people declare things on drugs, everybody. They're on drugs.
Thank you.
They're fucked up. Let's just leave it at that. Do not try to interpret what people are saying.
Dr. Drew. What about people who are drunk and say things like...
No, they're on drugs. That's a mistake. To go, oh, their true feelings coming out. No, that's the person on drugs. Now, there may be some de-repression. There may be some things coming out that they wouldn't otherwise speak, but the way they speak and the way they speak about it is somebody on drugs. So give them a chance, if they've revealed something, to come back around and talk about what's really going on. And your brain isn't integrated. Your whole self isn't there when you're loaded.
So you're getting a pass from Dr. Drew.
It's not a pass, but like if you pulled that video up, it's so
I'm saying
on drugs.
the two things are not really related. So the chicken nugget thing is Trish on drugs. And what I'm seeing here in this video we're watching right now is something we talked about earlier, is that your identity is not fully crystallized, right? Your identity generally, and of course that kind of bleeds over into gender.
Let's go ahead and continue the video, Ian.
All that stuff like that. But that's why I identify more as like a gay man, because I like guys, but I also identify as a guy, if that makes sense. The thing that kind of like stops it is I do love, which a lot of gay men do too, I do love like glam and voluptuousness. So in my head, I feel like I'm a transgender female to male, but also like a drag queen. That's kind of how I've like.
That's what Dr. Drew said.
That is exactly right.
Because
Ian.
That is exactly right. She's a gay, identify as gay male drag queen. That is exactly what that is.
And you don't think
I think your construct is exactly correct. Whether or not that's your firm, forever identity, I don't know. But that's what you're describing, which is I don't really feel like a female, but I feel like a female cross-dresser.
Right.
I like all the female stuff, but I identify as sort of a gay man. Now, the question is, are you attracted to gay men?
So, yeah,
because a gay man would be would be attracted to gay men.
Yeah, I dated.
She's dating a straight man currently.
Right now I am, but I dated a gay man for 2 years. I was very public, So I
dated a gay man.
How did you guys navigate that? How did you?
Yeah, how does that work for him?
And that's, I think, a lot of people like. I mean, he would say he.
I'm asked this as just strictly curiosities, and if it's not,
Are you
it's too
saying
much,
like
please don't
sexually,
answer.
like intimately?
Yeah.
What? How did you? It's a navigation, right? And so it's an interesting. We're all like, how'd you do that? It's
yeah. Well, we were definitely friends, and I was like, oh, you're definitely gay, and he's like, he goes, well, but I'm like, I like you, and I was like, well, I don't know. So then we just started like hooking up within months into our friendship, and then realizing that we're like dating. That's what we're doing, and it was hard, and that's the ultimate demise. The internet was like, he's obviously gay, Trish, and the thing is like my energy and just like day to day. I mean, I've always dated feminine guys. Like I feel like I have just masculine energy by nature. I'm usually like, but I don't know. Like to say that a lot of people. I'm like, to me, he said he was bi. The other day, I just talked to him, and he's like, actually, I just like who I like. So it was never. We did have like vaginal sex, but it was a lot of more, pegging and penetration, that stuff.
Okay.
Holy
all right.
shit.
Interesting.
You pegged
And did you like? Was that stuff you like doing?
I love it.
Yeah.
And even now with my OnlyFans, I'm always the one to wear the strap on, like with girl on girl stuff. Like I'm always the one doing I just feel more powerful. I feel more turned on that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Holy
Interesting.
Shit. It's a lot to take in.
Ethan, you okay?
It's a lot to take in as she's dressed as me.
It is quite a bit.
It started like this.
The image of you pegging and all this is just a little bit much.
Well, I've dressed as boys, what cis boys look like, before, and I like it. I love it. I like, I've done it multiple times, and I don't know. It feels comfortable to me, but so does dressing as a female, like a cis female dress is comfortable too.
So good.
Okay.
So you be you, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
But hang on a second. I want to jump ahead of something that's on my mind before we look at more video real quick. You said something's really bothering you from your last show or something?
Yeah.
We're working towards that.
We got to get that out in the open, whatever that is. I feel her feeling it. It's bugging me. So go ahead.
There's a lot to cover, but okay. First of all, if we fast forward to, let me go there.
The
walkout. So basically, there's a few key moments. I think the main one is when we go ahead and show Dr. Drew when she says that I'm a pill addict. Start from here.
Is that true?
It's not true.
Okay.
Actually, I'll give you the context. We were here, and please don't interrupt me.
But you're starting.
Let me hear your side first.
This is not where it started, though.
Okay, start earlier. I don't want to. I can't watch the whole episode with them.
Triggered me to say that. Go with that. It's not like I was just like, by the way, he's a pill addict. Everybody.
Okay, sure. So go back. But what happened was that we're sitting back here, hanging out off camera. And I mentioned to her that back, 10 years ago when I was living in Israel and and I was like in a dead end office job for 5 years, that I was taking painkillers. That was 10 years ago. I'm not currently taking.
How much?
I honestly don't know. I was getting high like on the weekends. That's it. I was taking pills on the weekends.
You're using opiates to get high on the weekends. You weren't taking them. You weren't strung out.
No, I didn't take them when I was working.
So Trish, we back in the the sort of the center of the eye of the storm of the pharmaceutical opioid epidemic, people were using a lot of opiates that weren't addicts. Now that we would still call that a substance use disorder because you're illicitly using opiates to get high. But it's hard to call him a pill addict per se with just that history.
Well,
and now you say you've been addicted. Now, do you really believe he was an addict, or he just was?
Oh no,
abusing drugs?
He triggered something in me, and I wanted to be a fucking bitch to him, and so I said, "Well, you're a fucking pill addict. You're not perfect either."
So go ahead and play the clip.
I knew he's not. I know he's not.
Okay, good.
He's square.
That's all the context.
Okay, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm square, as she says.
Even though I did. I turned out okay. I'm functional.
Just because you make money doesn't mean
you're
okay.
way crazier than me.
That's so not true.
No, but you're way crazier than me.
That's not true.
Bro, that's objectively true.
You hide it more, just like Mikey, who hides shit.
Oh, really?
It all gets brought to the surface.
I don't hide anything.
On.
I literally don't. You literally just said how honest I am, and you respect that about me.
But you hide the crazy, is what I'm saying. Yeah, you
I don't
share
hide.
a lot.
I don't hide.
You do hide the crazy.
I'm all out there with no fucking eyebrows and everything.
You were into pills. You never talk about that you were a pill addict for a minute.
What?
Yeah, you said that. You said you were really into pills, and you don't talk about that.
Why do I need to talk about that?
Because that's being open. That you're judging me for being crazy, taking pills or whatever. Like I take pills or whatever. But you've done it too, and you're just not open about it.
I don't think that is a defining characteristic of who I am.
I think that is a big thing. That makes sense. Why? Because you're on medication now, and there's no shame or judgment in it. But like, hey, if you're going to shame me for being off meds, you should say, hey, I'm on meds.
I'm not shaming you for being off meds.
That's what it sounds like. You just call me crazy,
but here's
which
what you
means
do.
I'm off
you know
medication.
What you just did? You're trying to see. This is why you are such a dangerous person, especially to be close with, because you'll take something that I've told you, you'll take something that somebody told you in confidence, and you'll use it. You'll weaponize it against them.
That's not true.
That's what you just did.
No,
and luckily for you, I don't care, and I'm okay with it. But you go, oh well, I told you an anecdote about how I used to take tramadol back in Israel when I was like bored in a dead end job, and you literally just weaponized that against me.
You called me crazy, knowing my history.
Bro,
you
we
called
always
me crazy.
And also a little bit of context. She's dating my brother-in-law.
What's that to do with anything?
Because I was like, hey, Moses, just so you know, she does this.
Okay, can I?
So hold on, slow down, slow your roll. So first of all, watching Uncle Fester attack you was a little weird.
Yeah.
That was a little much for me.
Look good though, right?
It was remarkable. You sure you weren't a child star? It wasn't Jackie Coogan a child star?
Why is it the trauma that you see that makes you think I was a child star?
No, the actual actor who played Uncle Fester, I believe, was a child star.
Oh, really?
I think so. Oh. Check me on that, Dan. Check it out. Somebody, Ian, look it up for me. So that was harsh on both your sides, right? Mm-hmm. Trish, here's the thing. It's really hard to be as open as Trish is, okay? And you could argue that you're so open, Trish, that you don't really kind of perceive boundaries normally,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Is that true?
You knew you were being a bitch.
No, can I just say...
Hold on, don't talk with the you stuff. Stop it. I'm wondering
it's perceived by me that you knew you were being a fucking bitch.
Here, can I say, like hindsight, I looked back and I was like, oh yeah, that was fucked up. But Ethan, for all the shows, I don't think we had any boundaries between us. He calls me fat. He tells me my boyfriend shouldn't be with me. I shouldn't have kids.
Correct. That's what I want to say. You guys play with that, and Trisha can't do that. She can't really perceive boundaries. It's just all out there. It's all open. Well, you can do it, but you can't expect her to magically know where to draw the line.
But can I also say, he has no boundaries with me. He can say whatever he wants about me. The minute, there was an issue. This is a whole different issue, but I had an issue with my boyfriend, which is his brother-in-law, with private DMs. He exposed all these private things. So there's no boundaries when it comes to me.
No, I get
but as soon as I bring up something private with him, then what triggered me was his like, whoa, you're weaponizing. Oh my God, you're being a bitch.
Yeah, I never weaponized
now.
anything against
No. You told me I was weaponizing when all of a sudden I thought that was our relationship, just saying whatever, just everything's out in the open. So I was like, okay.
That's what I thought. So she's confused. It confuses her to not know where you're supposed to draw the line, right?
Yeah, I was shocked.
But don't you see why me now would never say anything like that to you in private?
I can see that, but the same thing, you read private text messages I sent only to you.
Hold on. Ethan, not saying things in private to her because of that does not make you an open person. Right? You can't say I'm totally open about everything, but I can't trust you, so I'm not going to be open. It's okay. You don't have to tell everybody everything, but don't claim that you're wide open and telling everybody everything. She's the one that's really wide open. Too much so, right?
I agree. I do agree with that.
I've seen her naked. She's way too wide open.
So he can call me crazy. He can do all this stuff, and it's fine. Like honestly, because I have a lot of I went to a mental hospital last year. Like I have a lot of issues, and so and calling me crazy.
Let's talk about that word.
Yeah.
Then. How do you? Because you feel it like it's a negative, like a pejorative, right? Because there's a way to own it, like the word addict or junkie.
Sure.
You just use it in comedy. You can do that.
I use it.
Take the energy out of it.
We've called each other crazy so many times, and then all of a sudden it was a problem.
Not a trigger. Right. But then when you were like, I'm open, and I'm like, oh, are you? And you're like saying, I'm open. So then I'm like, well, what about this? And you brought up stuff about me in private, so I thought it was okay to do it. So the minute you say, wow, I can't believe you would do that, I was like, what are you talking about? You just talked about all my personal shit.
There's things you've told me in private that I would never bring out, that you've told me about certain things about your relationship with people.
The thing you brought up about Moses was really, really personal. It's really damaging to this day in our relationship. It was not public.
Yes, it was.
Moses,
everybody
public.
said
it
literally.
It was not public. was
What are you
not
guys
public.
talking about specifically?
The arm thing.
How did people get photos of it? I didn't put that
After
out.
you said it on the podcast, that account was like, now that it's out on the podcast, I'm going to post these photos. My boyfriend got catfished by someone, said something about an altercation we had that nobody knew. Ethan brought it up on the podcast. That makes me look like I'm a domestic abuse, like I'm a person that hits my partner. And like that was out in the open. And we even said, Moses, like, stop, cut it. We're like, don't put that in the thing. What does he do? He puts it in the fucking thing.
Wait,
it was
hold
never
on.
it was never fucking public.
Well, maybe you shouldn't hit him.
I agree, but that is something that is so fucking personal that you said, and we're like, please edit it out. It was a fucking weak moment, and our relationship will never get past that. And I even tell him that. Now everyone thinks I'm a fucking like a man beater and shit like that because of you. And it's fine. It's fine. But don't say I'm weaponizing. It is. Ethan, you are the one who said it, and you're like everything.
But you're the okay.
He said while he was here, everything can be said, and I'm like, yeah, because I thought that was our relationship. So the minute I say something about your pill thing,
Wait, hold on. Before I said it, I said. I was like, how much of this can I read?
I didn't
Because
know
I don't
that
want to
was in
upset you. And she said to me,
Hey guys,
you can read everything.
Hey, let's navigate these waters carefully, or Trisha's gonna have another episode of walking out.
I just
Did
get
you
like, frustrated.
So
It's
let's
just frustrating.
navigate carefully, right? Take a breath. So we don't want to get to the point where we have another episode of walking out.
I know I am fine
Now-
for real. It's frustrating when he's like, no, it's already out there. When Moses and I both know it wasn't. I didn't know that's what he was going to say. We have the ability to edit things out, and he didn't. Just like the pill thing, you could have edited
I
out.
get
He
it,
doesn't.
but you guys but this is a problem. This is the problem of a show like this, where you're playing with being totally out there with everything, when there are a few things that maybe not. And you guys got to be very clear with, can you both agree that at least attempt going forward, that when there are things that should not go out, you'll both agree these things don't go out?
Or just edit it out, too, if it goes too far.
Let me say, because you guys just left, and it seems like you were fine with it being open. If you stayed and were like, can you cut that out?
Two things.
I would have done that.
We did ask you to cut out. You're like, no, we're leaving this in. Fine.
No,
fine.
I didn't say that.
Fine. Yes, you did. You did say that. You're like, no, we're not. We watch it back. You literally, because that's what you said when I asked you, don't show my personal finances, and you did anyway.
Well, that was different.
Okay. Fine. We left.
Drew can't keep up with all this.
Look,
I'm trying to keep up, but I understand why Trisha's upset.
Well, hold on.
Thank you. And then we left, and guess what? I was okay with it because I'm like, this is our relationship. This is what makes the show good, right? You're exposing shit
Now
about
stop
me.
there. Stop with that. So you see, that's the confusing part. You signed up for this,
100%.
and it just went too far.
No, but here's the thing. I'm totally fine. The minute I said something that went too far with Ethan, all of a sudden he said, you weaponize things. This is the problem with you. And I was like, what the fuck? You've been doing this for me every time I've seen you. That's all he does is expose private information about me, which, again, I signed up for. I'm okay. I literally am okay. I own up to so much awful things that I've done. It's fine by me. Truly, it's fine by me. But the minute someone's like, wow, Trisha's crazy, or Trisha did this, it happened in my last relationship. The minute I spoke up, I was uncomfortable about a threesome. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, Trish, it was a joke. Wow, okay, you did that to David and Jade. Like, I'm the person that's the villain. I'm the, oh my God, you went too far. You weaponized. This is why I'm scared for Moses to be in a relationship with you. It's like, that's our banter. That was my banter with my last relationship. That's ours, and I thought it was fine. And then, so my trigger wasn't that, and I fucked up. Like, the pill thing, probably I shouldn't have.
Let's find out what's going on with Ethan, because if it really was as big a deal as we're making it, was it that big a deal?
Well, clearly, I didn't perceive it.
For you.
Oh, that he had like a bruise on his arm?
No, that she came out with the pill stuff.
No, it was more. I was more like shocked and surprised that she went there.
Okay. So why did you then hit her with, "Hey, you're attacking me. You're weaponizing this information"?
Because
that's what triggered her.
Because she does. I mean, you do that. You don't.
Okay. So what? Okay. So fine. So what is that? Wait. So what is that, Trisha? What's he talking about?
I guess he says that I've done exposed videos about my boyfriends in the past where it's like when I'm hurt, like I will do things to like hurt people or whatever like that.
Okay, so stop. So that maybe is not okay, right?
I agree. I totally agree.
You ever heard the phrase? I don't know.
Okay, he's talking about my boyfriend.
Can I interject?
Listen, hold on. That's a different issue. But people hurt people, right?
Of course,
when you're hurt, that
I
it's not.
understand.
Of course, you can deal with it a little more productively than just lashing out.
I go to DBT classes and stuff, so I know my issue is it's like a group therapy for
dialectical.
people.
It's called dialectical behavioral therapy, and it helps keep other people in mind when you want to do something.
Because I have a really, I can't control myself. It's almost like I black out, and like so when I get mad or upset or I felt in that position, all of a sudden I started feeling like, wow, I'm being like looked at as the villain, like I did something wrong.
Okay, so there's a lot here, right?
Yeah,
and Ethan, she's doing something active about it. She's actually getting treatment.
Yeah, no,
for
that
it.
makes me happy to hear.
So good. So I think we can move past that a little bit because that shouldn't happen as much, right?
And I do have a lot of empathy and sympathy for like the fact that sometimes you lose control and you get really emotional and you do and say things that you regret. I do want to add that this whole event came after her and her boyfriend got into a fight, and she already made a video about him, accusing him of flirting with underage girls, which she's since retracted.
It's totally different. First of all, it's totally different because that's something completely different than me having an altercation with him.
Who's my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, by the way, someone I care about.
So he's saying, like, I made a video being like, you know, he flirted with fans, whatever, but that's a completely different thing that I already made public, as opposed to an altercation. Like, that's a completely different thing that nobody wanted out there, and you put out there, and then it went to the shitstorm thing of Trisha's an abuser and all this stuff, which was not something that was out there.
So let's go. So what Ethan seems to appreciate is when you have something that becomes excessive, you do something active in response to it. So what are you doing to help make sure that doesn't happen again? Is that part of the DBT therapy?
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, I started that in May.
Let me ask you a harsh question. When people, you know, when they get into altercations that go that far, oftentimes we advise that this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Or is that the case with this relationship, or are you both in it and working actively with professionals to help make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I'm working now on it, and it's like a thing that's like super, super sensitive because I've never gone that far, you know, and I've gotten help for the past year because I had 2 mental hospital stays where I was put on a 5150. So like I go into these like
these states.
Yeah, like it's like a blackout where I'm like not that person.
Yes.
And like that was the first time that happened. So now that that's out there on the internet, like everyone thinks that's just me, that I just like abuse people, and it's like it's never been that far.
Right. So let's be clear. It's very much the same thing. Those blackouts or whiteout or red outs that people get when they hurt themselves and other people.
Yeah.
And it needs to be treated. And you're treating it. I mean, that's the thing. Now it's also a sign of like really heavy duty childhood trauma. So you're getting that treated too?
Not so much yet. I mean, because I had my blackout moments where I woke up and I was like, I didn't want to do that.
No,
like,
I understand.
I don't know.
I get it.
So
and so that's
I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt anyone, even in my relationship now. I am trying to like sabotage it to not make it last because I don't want to be harmful to anybody, and I'm dangerous to myself. I'm dangerous to other people, and it's bad.
Okay,
you know?
so stop. And so Ethan, can you see how when you say something like this is a weaponized, you're attacking me, that's tough territory for her right now. You got it?
Yeah, no,
you understand? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's the deal. You're doing DBT. Do you have any like peer support, that kind of thing? People you can call when you start to ask. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing all the right stuff, right? You have a therapist, you have a DBT group, you've got peer support. I mean, it's, you know, the fact that this happened from my perspective, not so surprising given what you tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah.
That's part of this whole syndrome. And yes, you have to be extremely careful. You have to 5 steps earlier, you have to do something to make sure you don't get all the way to those dissociative states.
What we do, that's what it is. I mean, what we do now.
And by the way, you're hanging in very, very well with this whole episode we're all going through here. You're not dissociating.
Yeah.
Which is kind of remarkable, right?
Thank you. I feel like we have worked on it since. I mean, I tell him, like, because I used to tell him, like, hey, let's stop talking about this. And he took it as me just trying to control the situation. But now if I say, can we please stop talking about this, like he does, because I know that's when I get into that, like, blackout thing. Because that's what happened. Yeah. I was like, can we just stop talking about it? Can we stop? And when he doesn't, because he thinks I'm trying to control the conversation, which I'm not.
No, you have to say, you need a code word. You need some way of stopping it. Come back around later when you're not escalating.
And that's what we do, and that's what it's been. It's just one of those things, as I've never gone that far, where I just feel like I shouldn't be in a relationship. I shouldn't, not for a long time.
That's all that negative self-talk that you know is part of the problem, right? And so Ethan, the good news is you and her relationship has never gone to those places, right? So she obviously trusts you. Not quite.
Not quite. No, we had a really bad blowout on a few episodes ago where I think you were starting to disassociate and you left.
I walked out because he was pushing it once again. He wouldn't let go. We were 20 minutes past our thing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave after this. And he's like, no, let's resolve this now.
I was trying to apologize, but
he kept trying to resolve it, and I said,
it?
not right now. Like, I'm gonna just leave. I'm just gonna leave, and he would not end it. So that's when I walked out. I didn't get angry. I didn't yell at him. I was like more embarrassed than anything, and I just left. And it was past our time of doing the show. I stayed in there for the rest of it, and I just left because that was what he was saying, the weaponizing thing, and I I knew it was gonna like set me off. It already did, and that's why I was being nasty about his wife and his kids and stuff like. And I was just like, okay, I need to like leave because I know it's gonna get even worse.
But I don't take that stuff personally because I understand. Can I have a hug, by the way?
No,
Oh,
not
really?
right now.
No, I don't think that's the thing right now.
Really?
I think-
Not this time for a hug?
No,
I
I don't
just
think
feel-
so.
Not-
We might get there, but we're not there now.
And he's never hugged me
I-
ever once. Can I just say that? So if you hug me now, it's disingenuine to me.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
going to
It's a
seem
good time
weird.
to hug
It's gonna
you.
seem
Never,
weird,
'cause you
especially when
never
you're
hug
dressed-
me.
When you're dressed as one another, it's extra weird.
Yeah.
Well, then with
No chest plate.
with a lack of not with in replacement of hugging you. Well, no, seeing you like this, I mean, it gives me a lot of insight to how vulnerable.
Yes, I think Ethan's saying,
Yeah.
I see how tender this is. I apologize where I've triggered it too far. Though that's what she needs lots of right now.
Yeah,
I understand.
Well, No, I mean.
I think it's just like I always feel bad. Like I haven't apologized to you, and I do feel bad when I attack like your wife and your like all that stuff like that. I do feel bad right away. Like that's the worst thing about this is like I feel bad instantaneously. I'm like fuck. I'm such a bad person. Like this is why I don't keep friends. And he said in that same episode, this is why nobody wants to be with you. And it's like that all there is like I know this stuff. It's like I just can't control it right now. I'm doing better at it, but like I don't have friends. I don't have relationships that last longer than a year. He knows that. So by you saying that too, it just like fucking triggered it all over again because I know that's why I don't have friends. I know that.
Well,
and I feel bad instantaneously. I'm not like a sociopath.
Let Ethan talk. It's all good.
No, I feel bad, and I feel like I didn't. It's hard. I feel like people misperceive you and misunderstand you. I think people think that you're not self-aware or that you're just like this wrecking ball, and that you kind of are just like this emotionless creature that just smashes everything up, and you don't think twice about it.
Yeah.
But but it's clear to me now that you are very aware of how you can be hurtful and mess things up, and that it does hurt you.
Yeah.
And I understand about how I said, at that time was maybe just hitting too hard and was just too mean, and it was something that you are, painfully aware of.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You still have to have a show.
Yeah.
You still have to have a show, and you still have to conflict. But I think you got to do a little more agreeing on where the boundaries are, And now you understand, and once you trigger, what's under all that. Ethan.
Can I ask you a question that I think may come off as insensitive, but I think it's
and before you do, I just want to say this would be a very different conversation were she not doing active professional interventions on all of this.
Yeah.
She's doing the care she needs to do to make this better.
I am very proud of you that you're doing all that stuff. I think that's great.
Yeah. So what's your question?
Is it not at least somewhat my place to worry that, with all that, with like, the problems that you have, that you're working on, and that we all understand, and is it not inappropriate for me to worry about my brother-in-law being in a relationship with her?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to know the details of what, how bad it's gotten between them. That's really his decision, right? I mean, she is doing active interventions. I mean,
Moses
maybe he's
nodding. Yes.
Who is?
Yeah, he's co-signing.
Yeah,
he's here, by the way.
Okay, but Trish, do you guys do anything together therapeutically?
We haven't, and it's more just because I do talk a lot about like childhood trauma that I don't talk about with anybody, not even on my YouTube. So I kind of just don't want him to know everything, like because a lot of my parents, like both my parents, don't really know all of it. So it's just like something I don't want him to know right now. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine. Then he should see a therapist as well. So he, again, because boundaries are really goofy, he needs to get some clarity about that. Yeah. He needs to understand where he's at and where, what's him. You understand how that gets kind of blurry, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's
But he should see somebody too, and then proceed. But treatment works, guys.
That's the other issue with Ethan, like him being like, should I be concerned? I mean, his brother-in-law is 43. You know what I mean? 43, and it's like no matter. Like the thing is like the reality of the situation is like he's here with me every week. Like we're always together all the time. It's like why? And from the beginning, even if it was a joke or not on the podcast, he's like, I don't approve of this. They should tell us what they're doing. And then
I never said I didn't approve.
But what
happened was that he
What had
Moses,
happened?
you have to own this. Okay, we did a show on the podcast called The Bachelor, which we've done before, where we set up somebody and we have content. You know The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And so Trisha was the Bachelorette, and they started flirting.
Hang on. Hang on a second. Hang on. Trisha, don't. You're okay. You're
Yeah.
starting to sink on us. We're
No,
losing you.
I'm okay. I really am. It's just a lot happening with like the look and then you and then the guest and then all this right now.
No,
but-
I know, and don't let it depress you. It's
No.
it's all good. It's all good.
I'm not.
Okay.
I feel good
All right,
talking
just
about
keep
it.
Hold on.
Look what's sitting
Let me make
across
sure
from
my
you.
nips
You.
are out.
Right.
Stupid.
Hang on.
Stay in the moment. Okay, here we go. So finish up.
Okay.
I just saw
I
you
asked
sinking
Trisha
there.
about
I didn't want that to happen.
When she adjusts her blouse, because there's fake nips here. You're gonna have to blur that. You're gonna have to blur that, Dan. I asked if she adjusting her dress. It's like right above your nip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you want to show as much cleavage as possible
Right.
without the titty.
Ethan also once told me I had the worst boob job ever. So
But that didn't offend you, did it?
the thing is like, yes and no. Like, that's our relationship. I know you're joking. It's like love. I'm fine with you doing it. But at the same time, it is offensive. So it's like when I say something like offensive, like, it's like, whoa.
Well,
but like,
no. You can tell me whatever you want. It's just the pill thing that I found curious.
okay. And now
Strangely
That was
enough,
the only time.
You guys need to be able to offend each other to do this show.
and I love
thank
it.
you.
Like, I love when people make jokes
And I
about
was
me. I think
okay
it's
with her
funny.
saying it, Dr. Drew. If you recall, I said, I'm fine. I just find it curious.
You didn't say that. You're like, wow, you're weaponizing right now. This is what I'm concerned about Moses.
Yeah,
like,
I said
if you
that
said,
in addition to all the other things I just said.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to when they started dating.
Okay.
They started dating, and Moses at first was saying he was just doing it for the show. He thought it would be entertaining for the show, okay? This has all been said, so I don't think I'm hurting anyone's feelings.
no, you're fine.
And so
I don't believe that necessarily, but go ahead.
Right.
you don't believe what he said or what I'm saying?
What he said
Yeah.
just doing it for the show.
Okay, well,
he
anyway,
may-
he said that he's just... What?
No, he's saying he's saying.
Well, anyway, they were started posting these pictures. This happened over the course of a few weeks, and every time we see Moses a lot. It's my wife's brother, and he says, "Oh, it's nothing. We're just hanging out, yada yada yada." And this lash is all in my eye,
Oh my God.
and
see what they put up with.
yeah, it's crazy, dude. And so he was being deceptive to us. And so we didn't know what was happening. And it's not that I disapproved. It's just that we were having the show with Trisha and seeing Moses all the time. And they were being deceptive to us. And maybe they felt like they didn't want to be judged by us and all that. And I get it.
Yeah.
But that was the reason why I never said I disapproved. I just thought it was weird that you guys were like sneaking around and not telling us what was going on
the
and
quote-
lying to us.
You say, I disavowed this. That's exactly what you said. That's your quote. Exactly.
Well, I was probably, being...
What's a joke and what's not? You can't just say, oh, that was a joke.
I have always and actively said that I approve. I don't have a problem. I just don't like the deception.
But we were just starting to date. Like, what are we supposed to be? Like, we're boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, we didn't even know.
It was really Moses' fault. I don't blame you on that one. Moses was very deceptive.
Bottom line, why is it your concern even now? You're like, should I be concerned
Well, we
for
were
Moses
doing a show.
because she has
If
a
there
mental
was,
health issue?
if there was no show, I wouldn't care.
Right now we're doing a show, and you're like, she has a mental health issue.
We were
Should I be
doing a
concerned for-
dating show
Okay,
with you.
right now in this moment, you just said, should I be concerned for my brother-in-law because I have issues with my mental health? It's
You
like,
know what?
It's not your
It was
concern.
insensitive, and I think Dr. Drew had a really good response that I agree with, and it is Moses' choice, and I support his choice.
And he has to keep up with you, is what I'm saying. He's got to be in his own treatment because,
Yeah.
I mean, because you're going to change, and if
Which
this
you're not
relationship's going
in,
to work.
Moses, and you don't believe in therapy, do you?
We're doing just fine.
He says they're doing just fine in response to does he believe in therapy?
Interesting. Maybe a little Al-Anon for Moses.
What did you say?
Maybe a little Al-Anon. What do you think, Trisha?
A what anon?
Al-Anon.
What is that? I don't know what
It's
that is.
it's for people that are involved with people that have used substances,
Oh, okay.
and it's it's to give some support and get some clarity on what they're
I don't
feeling.
think Moses would ever do that.
It doesn't sound like it.
Okay, let's not talk about him though. And also, and for the record,
But it's
my parents also are not about. You know what I mean? My mom more so, but
Yeah.
like my dad's not about therapy. So I go on these alone. When I was I've had other issues with addiction, and like I went on my own. When I was in a mental hospital, I was on my own. No one, my mom came to see me, but I didn't.
Thank God you're doing this.
Yeah,
right?
but
I agree.
I'm usually alone with it, and that's why I'm like, it's okay. It's
Despite everything, I've always wished the best for you. and I really do love you as a friend.
Yeah.
I feel like we have amazing chemistry, and I see the goodness in you, and I know that like you're always fighting to bring that out more than like when you get upset or you do this and that and the stuff you regret. Like that does I don't ever see that as who you are. I know who you are, and I love that person as a friend of mine.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the drama.
We still didn't solve what we're doing with the word crazy.
Right.
Are we using it or not using it? Because I think in a show like this, I think in a show like this, you kind of have to own it and say you're using it, because you need craziness, because that's what you're sort of creating here in the studio.
I love it.
A certain amount of craziness.
Yeah, and that didn't trigger me. So when he said I'm so open, I finally was just like, but you're not, because this is what you're not open about. And then what the trigger was, the weaponizing. All of a sudden, I'm the villain.
I know. We got it. He got it too, which is the good news.
Okay.
Now let's fast
Is this what you imagined, Ethan, when you asked me to come here?
I don't know. I think I was expecting it to be more lighthearted, I guess, but this show always surprises everyone.
I was going to call you. I told you yes. I emailed you yesterday. I said I think we should get on the phone, because it either doesn't work at all or it gets heavy. That's what happens with this kind of thing. And it's much better when it gets real. I
agree.
It's just much better.
I love talking. I like talking about it, and I especially like talking like with someone who like understands it, because I think the whole internet thinks I'm crazy, I'm a liar, I'm this, I'm destructive, and so like it's nice to just hear like at least you understand that there are people like me out there, which is like
I sort of specialize in people like you.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I know.
You made a career out of
used to see a lot of folks like that.
Yeah.
But
they did well.
Yeah.
Trisha gets a lot of shit on the internet from a lot of people. And I think that it's important for more people to see you like this, because I think that I think it's a really good insight into you as a vulnerable, real, feeling, emotional person, and not just like the wrecking ball that people think you are. People just think you're a mess, and that you just, are destructive and this, and you just do everything for attention.
Well, it's not unwarranted, though. Like, I understand why people think the things I do are for attention, because I have always been an attention seeker. I've always needed attention more than most people. So I get it. I understand it. I said offensive things way in my past that will haunt me forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I get why people don't like me. It's not like I'm not aware of it. It's just more like, how do I change the perception if I ever can? I know I never will be able to fully change. People always think I'm problematic or something. You know what I mean? Like
it's part of your brand, but I do think it's
right.
It's important to see.
But
that you're more than that.
I'm just self-aware, and I know it's not unwarranted. I'm not trying to be like, there's everything wrong with me. Like, I know I do stuff that's problematic, but that was when I was in my 20s. I'm 32 and I'm trying to like do better and stuff, but it's.
So we've named a lot of the stuff that you've been dealing with. Do you give a name to the overall syndrome that you're dealing with, or do you talk about that?
No, well, here's the other thing. I mean, not to make this all about my therapy session.
There was another drama.
So the other thing was I don't. My therapist that I talked to, I ask him straight up. I'm like, so am I borderline? Am I bipolar? Like, am I schizo? Like, there's, all these things. And he's like, well, you have traits of a lot of things. So I can't really say it's one, you're definitely bipolar. I've been on medication to treat bipolar. Okay. He goes, but there's also, so my scandal that everyone hated me for this year, and it's still something that like triggers me in a really dark, deep way. And I talk with my boyfriend about it, because only people close to me see it, is the dissociative identity disorder, which I've talked about before. And I saw a video about it on YouTube. So I made a reply being like, I think I might have traits of this. Like, this sounds like something that I do. And everybody came for me. It's like, Trisha just wants attention. She's making a mockery out of it. And the initial video was very sincere. And the minute people thought I was making a mockery of it, then I was like, okay, let me make a mockery of this. And let me just disassociate, where I'm like, all of a sudden, like, I'm a little baby. Whatever people wanted to see, I made a mockery of it, because I was like trying to say it in a very authentic way. Like, this is what's happening. And I don't go into characters or whatever that happens to other people. It doesn't happen with me. But when I do go off on people, it's literally like a different person. Any boyfriend of mine, my last boyfriend Jason, my boyfriend now, will say it's a different person. Like, and I don't know who it is. And like that, when I said that, everyone's like, fuck you, Trisha, for using mental health as like getting attention and stuff. And it was literally just a reply to someone's video.
I totally agree with you in that one. The amount of shit you got for that was fucked up, because whether you actually have that or not, I mean, who knows? I mean, you could say better, but it's hard. I know it's difficult sometimes to diagnose specific mental disorders, but like the amount of shit people gave you was so messed up, especially considering it's like, I think we can all agree that you're trying to define some kind of issue that you have.
Well, let me help sort of refine it, because she has told us that the person who's seeing her says she doesn't have a diagnosable personality disorder as yet, but she has traits of certain personality disorders, right? And when you talk about the dissociating, which you mentioned earlier, you were suicidal in a dissociative state, right? That's sort of more consistent with the borderline stuff, as well as the rages and the inability to control yourself in certain times. That's all sort of borderline stuff. And the DBT is designed to treat that.
Yeah.
Right. So you're in a good therapy for that. Whether or not you have dissociative identity disorder, people argue about whether that even exists. Sometimes just people see that as severe borderline. Borderlines can present differently to different people and differently in different mood states. And you're aware you're doing that, right? And the idea, hopefully in therapy, is you sort of integrate all those parts so they don't come apart when you have really intense feelings. Make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, and that's
Yeah.
And my therapist had told me the same thing. He's one that doesn't necessarily believe in like the disassociative of like going into different alters, because I don't have.
I've seen some crazy stuff, and you don't have anything like that.
Yeah, right. So I think that's why people are like no. And so when people said no, then I did troll and make a video where I started going into alters if that's what people wanted to see. But it was clearly a troll. People were upset that I did that, and I get it. I get the upset with that, but that made it triggered from people being like, you don't have this, you don't have this. Meanwhile, everyone's saying you're crazy, you have this, you have everyone diagnosing me. It's like, well,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you make a video like that, or the trans video, or whatever, you get a lot of attention. You're an attention seeker, but you usually get a lot of negative attention. Do you see a difference between negative and positive attention?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. It's like my trans video and my DID video were never to be negative. They were never to get negative attention. And I got my last one where I willingly seeked out negative attention was like when Trump ran the first time. I was like, hey, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not. And that's when I was like, ooh, I'm going to be. And I loved getting negative attention back then. That was when? 4 years ago. So it was like, I haven't done a negative attention seeking video since. Because you know why? People try and kill me. There's like stalkers that come to my house, and it scared me. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And so.
So is it possibly that you can accept negative attention when it's not something that really represents you, but when it's about something you're trying to be honest about, then that's really upsetting when you get that negative attention?
I don't like negative attention, period.
You don't
now.
like it at all.
I used to like it, but I don't need attention anymore. I don't make my money off YouTube. I don't make my money doing.
I don't think let's drill in a little further. Ethan, for some reason, this sounds like something important to you. I don't think you're quite getting it across, and I don't think Trisha's quite answering it. So what is it you actually want to know, Ethan?
Like when you seeking attention, are you
literally curious? Can she tell the difference between negative and positive
because
attention?
sometimes it feels
You're just
like
curious.
That's
You're just
the
curious.
root of your problems is that you seek attention, and sometimes you don't care if it's, or maybe you can't distinguish if it's good or bad, or if it's going to result in good or bad attention.
I distinguish it, but when's the last time I was like looking for negative attention?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying you keep having these issues where
but
you get.
It results from like the DID and the trans thing resulting from not people like you, but people saying, well, you said you were a chicken nugget 7 years ago when you had a meth problem. It's like, that's why, because they can't take it seriously from them.
Can I also add?
I know the difference, though. I'm aware.
Those are usually your most popular videos, too.
Yeah, and like I said, the trans one, I like immediately regretted. I apologized the next day. I have an apology video being like, I'm so sorry I said this. Like, that's not what I meant.
Okay, you guys are talking kind of past each other. so Trish, when I met you, you were very proud of some of your negative stuff. Well, that's kind of stayed with me. I noticed that. I think that's what Ethan's sort of interested in. And what I'm wondering, see how I say that, Ethan? I'm wondering.
What I'm wondering, I'll never get there, but I admire you, doctor.
What I'm wondering is if you can own some of the stuff, some part of what brings on the negativity. Oftentimes, ever heard of traumatic reenactments?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So there's a crazy thing we do as human beings. If we were traumatized in childhood, we drift into relationships and circumstances where we recreate the same thing that was so upsetting to us as a child. Mm-hmm. So you might look at some of these negative interactions to see if there's something you're attracted to, which it's all about attraction from the trauma. Mm-hmm. You get attracted to that you can watch out for that sets you up to re-traumatize yourself and get all that negative attention. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like publicly, you mean?
If you want to change it, I mean, Ethan's sort of wondering if you want to change it. I think behind that, he's wondering, do you really want all that negative attention?
Yeah.
But then he's ambivalent because he wants you to get a lot of attention, and it's always negative attention.
Look, here's the thing. I'm kind of just like numb to it. I'm just like so used to just people hating me anyways, and I know what I'm doing for myself and like who I am. So it's kind of one of those things. So I want to change it. Ideally, I wouldn't like people to hate me, but I know that's just literally going to going to be, whatever I do is going to be problematic. Even if it's something so small, like me liking My Chemical Romance this year, all the emos were like, fuck you for liking this. Or like theater kids, they tweet Lin-Manuel Miranda and say, oh, fuck her for liking Hamilton. Like people just don't like me for whatever I do.
They don't want you in their club.
Yeah. So.
There's one more thing I want to address before we wrap it up here. I know you're on a deadline.
Yeah.
Pull up this clip here from our latest episode. I believe this was our very last episode. When we addressed,
I wouldn't predict you two to be friends. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but like, so
and I admire that you are.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
a Cancer.
that.
He's like my best friend. He's like a Cancer.
Why would you say that about me?
My best friend Shane's a Cancer, and they're very
Sorry,
like
astrology joke.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
You're such a Cancer. That's the only time you can say that and not be like so mean.
I think I need to see you guys in the wild, like have coffee with you sometime or something, and see what really is going on here.
I know, maybe we don't see each other in the wild. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
pull up this clip from our last episode. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready, Ian. Unless you're at the bathroom. Hold on, let me adjust my titties as it's pretty fun, right?
It's pretty fun.
It's awesome.
It's a good time.
These feel pretty good. You want to feel my titty?
No.
Come on, feel my titty.
No,
Feel
boundaries.
It. Feel my titty.
No, just go with the clip.
Ian, are you working on this?
We gotta go.
Okay. There
Okay.
Wow. I was just like, wow. That seems like a low blow, what you did.
Okay, but it's perfectly fine that what you did then, exposing our personal stuff that I would never have said to anyone, saying that I hit someone and left bruises on their arm. It wasn't public. That was said anything about it.
Sorry, I'm not doing this to be cute. It literally just keeps getting in my eyes. I swear to God.
No one thinks you look cute.
It's fine. No, I don't. I'm not trying to look cute. It's literally keeps. The hair is the worst part.
Anyways, I have a mask on, so I'm not crying.
Well, yeah, I have a lot to apologize for sure.
You did apologize.
Yeah, I am sorry. I didn't like the way that the podcast ended. I felt really bad.
I mean, people said people were more on your side than my side on that one, saying that I shouldn't have gone for your family, but I'm not apologizing.
You don't apologize for anything?
No.
So what do I apologize for?
You don't have to apologize.
Dr. Drew, thoughts?
That was her in another one of her states. What was that all about?
Yeah, and I made a video following up. The one they accidentally played before this was me apologizing literally the day that came out because I don't know. I literally don't know. I didn't know this. I'm like, I don't know why.
You were in a state. You were in some sort of rigid state that you couldn't get out of.
It was awful, and I felt so bad. And I made an apology video the same day it came out. And I was like, I don't know why I was like that. I just was trying to be tough, I guess. I still felt like I'd attacked.
Yeah, I don't know what that was either, but that does not seem consistent with who you want to be, at least.
No, and I issued an apology in the video after, and I don't know. I literally don't know who it was. Everyone in the comments was like, Trisha's so nasty, and I was. It felt like literally. Remember that movie Cocoon? It felt like you were literally in one of those cocoons. Was that the feeling you had? You were in a. Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, it literally just feels like it's like an autopilot where I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like in the moment, I literally feel like I shouldn't be doing this. I sound like a bitch. This is not who I am, and I just could not. It's like you're not even there. You're just inside this chrysalis, and we're just talking to the outside of the cocoon, and it's just repeating stuff over and over again. Yeah. So you're going to be there again.
Well, the good news is though that I'm here now. If you have something to say.
I do. I said it in the video. You were pulled it up.
I didn't. Well, I'm here. I don't need to watch another video.
I do. I feel horrible. I do apologize for being so nasty, like from the pill thing, because I know how that feels, and I apologize.
Thank you.
For trying to be tough and badass and talking about Hila and everything. I always feel bad. Like I feel bad about it when it's not in a joking mode. When it wasn't, when you triggered me, I felt bad. When I was like, "Good luck trying to get your wife pregnant." Like it was just a mean thing. I don't know what it was, and I'm sorry. And I feel bad. Like that's not me.
Thank you.
It's not the last time.
I do
not
know
the last time you'll do it. You'll do it. You'll do it again.
No, but
that's the problem.
I know you don't mean it. I know you don't.
But you'll know what it is. You'll know what it is anyway.
I feel
just
like
think of that cocoon.
I feel like it would feel better for you to apologize and get it out of because I know you don't mean it.
No, I know. No, I felt bad. It's just like in that moment, I felt attacked.
I do forgive you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was that Gloria Steinem? Who were you?
Oh, Jeffree Star.
Gloria Star.
Yeah, Jeffree Star. Look him up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just so used to you dressed as a
Dr. Drew?
Bear.
Who would you fuck? Jeffree Star or, she's sitting here, so it's awkward. Don't answer that.
Oh my God.
Don't answer that, actually. Unprofessional.
Stupid. After.
Yeah.
Everything changed. All of a sudden, my mic dropped off. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Okay. It's too much for me. This is too much for me, you guys.
It's a lot.
Well, the
It's a
good news
lot.
is that we're done.
Okay, good.
It's a lot, but it was a privilege. It was a
Well,
privilege. It
I
really
feel like
was.
we're ending this show on a better note than we've probably done.
I
any of
feel
our previous
great.
ones.
I was very excited to have you here, Dr.
Just
Drew.
squeeze
I
my
like
titty
love you.
once.
No.
Come
Oh my
on.
God.
Is it
The hugs will
reasonable for me
come
to
one of
want
these
her to
days.
squeeze my titty?
No. One of these days, I'll be hugged.
One of these days, yeah. When we get to the hugging.
We didn't get into any of the physical boundary stuff. That's a
Yeah.
whole other topic.
That's way down the line.
Yeah, that's later.
All right.
So, Ethan, aren't you glad you asked me?
Yeah, no, I'm
Like I was
very
like-
glad. Dr.
I was going to
Drew,
call him and warn him. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
the world famous Dr. Drew. You can find him on Dr. Drew After Dark on Your Mom's House podcast, as well as Dr. Drew YouTube channel where he does a daily show. Check him out. He's a genius.
Periscope, Facebook, it's everywhere. Go to drdrew.com. You can check it out. drdrew.tv. It's all everywhere.
It's everywhere. God damn it. Just Google Dr. Drew.
He is
I'd
everywhere.
love to have Dr. Drew come back and administer some personality tests to us.
Okay.
Those are really fun. But one thing at a time.
Just another show for him to do.
Everybody, though. Everybody. Not just you.
Yeah, we have a whole
Everybody.
crew. It would be so fun to get all their personality tests. Because you can do like narcissism, you could do sociopath. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
While we were waiting for you, Trish, I sent out a SOS to the guy that I do these kinds of studies with to see what he can come up with, and I'll let you know.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
gonna be
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, I'm down.
All right. Well, thank you guys, everyone,
Thank
for
you.
joining. This is our final Halloween episode.
Yep.
So have a happy Halloween, everybody.
Yay.
And stay safe. And pray that California doesn't burn down before the next time we see you.
Yeah.
That our house.
Are you
still
ever going to take
standing.
that wig off, Ethan? You seem really into that hair.
He's doing an
This one
OnlyFans.
feels good. The
Yeah.
other one was in my. But this
Yeah.
one feels natural.